guys, what is going on? Blouse is back, and yes, that is right, my camera is in a different position today. I know, usually you're accustomed to seeing me in that top right corner, but today we're in the bottom right, still, yeah, we're still on the right side. So we're in the bottom right corner now. The main reason why I'm doing this is because when it comes to tier lists, they always put the image of the car that you want to talk about on the top right. Yes, top right corner. I think I'm on the bottom right, depending on where I want to edit this video. But anyway, so I don't want to block this prize car. I can already see people saying in the comments, and it's completely valid, like, oh, your face is blocking the car whatsoever. So hopefully this will amend some things. So I think it's time for another community vote, right? So usually I like to do tier lists, but it's usually just my opinion and my opinion alone. This time it's going to be my opinion, but you can join the vote as well. So this is a live tier list. You've got 6 days to vote. I'll have the link in the description below, and you can chime in and we can look at the average vote towards the end of the week to see what are some of the best epic prize cars and some of what are the worst. I have done this before, but that was like a year ago. There's some new cars, there have been some rarity changes, so we're going to do it again. This time we're going to use a very simple system from 10 all the way to 1. 1 being the worst rating, 10 being the highest rating. 10 will be red, and then it goes all the way down to 1, which will be, you know, described in the pink color or magenta color. Okay, now overall, how I'm going to be voting, how I'm going to be ranking these cars, I would say that some people might find it relatively like arbitrary, because I'm just going to go off my personal opinion. Cars that I own, I have some of these fully upgraded. I don't even own some of these cars, right? But I'll be ranking them from 1 to 10 in terms of how useful they are in the game and how useful they have been for me. So there are a lot of cars to go over. There are 93 epic prize cars that have been rewarded since like the beginning of the game. So 8 years, right? 93 unique epic prize cars. There are, I think, about maybe 25. About 20 to 25 that is yet to be released. I think it's somewhere along that ballpark. I think it's more like less than 20. I think it's like 18 or 17 around that mark. But anyway, let's get into it, okay? Because there's a lot to go through today. We're gonna start with the Jaguar F-Type Rally car. 100% that is a 1. That is a 1 that should be an ultra rare. We're gonna move it down to the bottom. So yeah, very simple. You just click and then it will just go, yeah, to the bottom right there. The next one is the Infiniti Q60 Red Sport. Pretty infamous car, right? Because this is a car that I have actually fused away, and then some people thought that I was, you know, crazy for doing so. I don't think so. I mean, this thing, it performs like an ultra rare. It's absolutely terrible as well. We're gonna put that in the 1 category. Next up is the Bufori CS Prototype Pace Car. Fun fact: today was the day Bufori actually announced their next car. So the CS Prototype and the CS Prototype Pace Car, which you see here, they're both in top drives right now. And these cars are, they're on like 10-year-old silhouettes at this point. They finally produced like the first one. Like it's going for around $450,000 US. It's an expensive car. Everything is handmade. So think about it as like a Malaysian Morgan. It's called the Bufori CS8. I'll put a photo right there. Released literally today. But anyway, we're looking at the pace car. I've seen this car a couple of times in real life. Pretty cool. 89 handling is good. That being said, it's an RQ65, right? It isn't like a twisty specialist. It's not going to be like, it's not like the Xenos category. It's not even Lotus 340R category, right? So you wouldn't want to put this on a slalom or a G-Force compared to those other ultra rares, but it is still a pretty competent car. Overall, I'm going to give it like a 3. Yeah, we'll give it a 3. It's not a car that we're going to be using too much, but it's not terrible. The Volvo 850 touring car that comes next, you know, with that estate niche, that lightweight, that 100 handling, I think it brings a decent amount of things to the table. I think it's slightly above average. I'm gonna give it a 6. Moving on is the Pontiac G8 GXP. As an ultra rare, I would give this car like a 7 or an 8, but as an epic, I'm definitely gonna give it like a 2. I like, it's just not worth maxing that for clubs. I mean, unless you really want to stand out, but you really need to be banking on the Porsche, not the Porsche, on the Pontiac, you know, 5-time club requirement that comes every like 3 months. You gotta really love that. And also, you know, imagine if I don't play clubs for a day and then I miss the Pontiac requirement, you know, like what do you do? Like I've got to wait another 3 months. It's not worth it. Morgan plus a 50th anniversary, that is a 1. You need to go back down to being an ultra rare. The Chevelle Laguna LT5 is up next. Gotta ask Spoolie on this one. I know he loves this one. Or Wyatt, that would work well. I have the prize car, you know. It hasn't really wowed me in any way. I haven't used it in anything at all. I'm gonna honestly give it like at most a 3. And I think some people are gonna call me out for American bias at this point, and it should be like a 2 or even a 1 by some of their books. But at least a 0 to 60 is something to write home about. 3.2, 0 to 60. I mean, that's very, very low. So, you know, it might be good on, I don't know, ocean short drag. Now, moving on for, like, you know, RQ66s and below. Anyway, moving on. AC Cobra 378 GT again. Why did this go out to an epic? I do not know why. That is a 1. The Peugeot 308 Racing Cup had a chance of winning this. I think this was the one where you can... No. It's the other Peugeot that you can redeem from the veterans, I believe. Not this one. Again, it's an okay car, but there are better options to use, but I don't think it's bad. I'm going to give it slightly under average. I'm going to give it a 4. Lancia D50, another car that used to be an ultra rare. Look, I just... Prize cars, especially, but just like, you know, ultras that went up to epic that used to be ultras, that doesn't sit well with me. And as a prize car, that doesn't help either, because it's not going to be useful in any kind of big event, because it's going to be hindered by the prize car tag. I'm going to give it like a 2. Like, it's got a high top speed, yes, but it is competing against, you know, a very high margin of cars now. It is comparing against the, you know, the epic rarity instead of the ultra rare one. The Ford Supervan is completely useless. I'm giving that a 1. The Maserati 250, I want to give it a 1, because like I like clowning on that car. I looked like a genius, honestly, when it went down to ultra at one point, because, you know, it kind of just like solidified and proved my point that it was a terrible epic prize car and it deserved to go down. Well, it went down, but then it went back up. So I think like when it went down to an ultra, this was actually a pretty competent prize car. But when it went back up to epic, it just became completely worthless again. So I personally, I'm gonna put it with that Lancia D50. I'm gonna put it in 2. Now, moving on, the Lamborghini Miura SVJ, I'm gonna put that in 2 as well. You don't use that. Challenger, this one's a little bit better. I'm gonna give it like a 5. It's very average. Like, it's got a very, very low 0 to 60. And if you need to use a low RQ epic for the drags, this will be a very useful car for you. The only problem is it's a low RQ epic, so I can't rank it any higher. It will hit above its weight, but at the end of the day, if you can use like, you know, super stock, use a super stock. Alfa Romeo Tipo, I know that's easier than it sounds, but, you know, use a super stock. It's like saying go to an ATM and just get some cash. Alfa Romeo Tipo 512. Again, I'm just going to put it with all the other 2s, right? So, yeah, we'll put it all there with all those red hot chili peppers. Alfa 155 TS Touring, not a bad car, but there are better options. I think it's fair for me to put it with the Peugeot 308. I'm going to put it right there. So I'm going to give it a 4. I know there are a lot of prize cars. I should be going through this a lot faster. Impreza 22B is going to be a 1. I'm sorry, that's terrible. 4-wheel drive mini ground clearance are overinflated. I know this one already. Why it's going to be like, oh, Blossom didn't win this one. Yeah, I didn't. It was dodge 5 times requirements. I couldn't win it because I couldn't pull a Viper to save my life. It's a 3. It's not terrible, but it's not great. Miura P400 Jota. I'm going to put it like slightly higher than the SVJ. So it's a 3. Because it's a slightly better car. Hyundai Ioniq, yeah, this was given out this year. Remember that, guys? Because I don't. That's a 1. Then we've got the Ford GT40 race car. I want to like this car. I want to love this car. But even when it comes to that 1969 to 1974 daily, oh, you can't even use it because it's 1965. Honestly, even in those like pre-70s events, it's like at best a mid car. It's not going to be one of the best cars you can use. There are legendaries within this category now. Think about the Nissans. Think about like the Chevrolet Serve. So the GT40, it's not terrible, but at most I can give it a 4. Oh, that's 10. That's 10. I think everyone can agree the Audi Auto Union. That's a 10. The Alfetta is gonna join the red tall-in cars. And then we got the Impreza. You know, it's better than the 22B. You know, it's better than 22B. It's not great. I'm gonna put it as number 2. The 911 Patina, the Oddities one, I forget. So I didn't win this one. I didn't complete Oddities. I hated Oddities. Oddities is up there with the Curators challenges where you have to max like, you know, a crappy epic for like 3 ultra fuses. Yeah, the Patina paint sample. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a mid-range epic Porsche, you know? Not much to write home about. 3.497, we maxed it out. It's not terrible. Like, I guess it's just average, it's 5. Di Tommaso Pantera, I would say is pretty average as well, 5. Lassetti touring car. Again, there are better front-wheel drive options. Is it better than the Peugeot 308? Yes, it is. 5. The thing about the Volvo 850 is that it's an estate, so, you know, it's cool. And, you know, it has that niche. It has that estate niche, right? Not all of the estates perform like that Volvo does. The Alpine A310, I mean, does it even deserve to be an Ultra? That's the question that we gotta ask, right? 4.585. I know it got a recent buff. That's why it also went up to a higher RQ, but at most, like a 3. I'm not going to be using it for much. It doesn't have that French Riviera tag helping it up. Alpha 8C Competizione. I'm going to put it with the Porsche. They are very, very similar cars. So I'm going to give that a 5. Like in terms of just performance and where they rank within their country, in my opinion. The Baby Bertha. I did not win this Christmas collection 3 years ago at this point. Maybe even 4 years ago. Very hard collection. I remember that along with Horror Show. Those two came around the same time. Bad time. I would say one of the worst times in top drives. Everyone just didn't like the game at that time. You know, it's up there with, you know, the recent, you know, No Try series. But I think top drives right now is a little bit better. They're finding their footing again with all the events going on. The Friends of Baby Bertha is a 4. It's great for Vauxhall events. That's about it. Laguna Super Touring. This is a good one. I think this one's they're going to be our first number 7. I'll give it a 7. The problem with this is that I can't change it after I put it there, so yeah, it's going to stay. Primera Super Touring, I'm going to put it in the same place. Great for clubs. Very, very good for clubs. I'm using it in a multiplayer event right now as well. Pretty decent. The Colt SR, that's a 1. That's terrible. Then we've got the Exige. That's going to be a 10 alongside the Otto Union. The Infiniti FX Vital Edition. Some people say it's good. High top speed. Handles pretty well. Has some niches. Still not my first choice. You know, if I had to use a high top speed all super tire car, I would still go with the Spiker peaking to Paris. I'll give it a 5. Moving on is the Buick Wildcat. I'm going to give that a 3. You know, we're not using that. But then again, you know, these cars, there's a lower chance I'll give them a 1 just because they are mid-range epic now. Okay, talking about American bias, let's have a look at this, okay? 4483. This is 4485. If I could move the Wildcat down to 2, now thinking about the fact that I put the Colt in 1, I would. So yeah, that's my bad. The Peter Blake Continental GT 4.083. I mean, it handles less than the Buick Wildcat, which is already huge. I'm gonna put it as a 2. And we're just going to imagine that I put the Wildcat in a 2, okay? A Barb Grande Punto. I still think it's an okay car. I'm going to give it a 5. Like, it's great for Fiat events. That's about it. The Vauxhall VXR8. Again, you had the chance recently to get this one. Decent for Vauxhall events, but it doesn't. The big thing is, I don't think it has the Learn the Savannah Way tag, which is really unfortunate. I've had to learn this because there's a lot of Learn the Savannah Way tag events. But I guess in Australian events it's still relatively useful. You gotta know where to use it. I think it's an average price car. I'm gonna go to 5. Next up, Range Rover Sport SVR. 4. Honestly, I think slightly above average, slightly under average. Nobody really uses it. This is the one that you can get from the Veterans Challenge, I believe. And 4.392. It ain't bad. It's actually pretty good. And I'm gonna also give it a 7. It's just, I guess 7 is just reserved for front-wheel drive slick tire cars at this point. The Supervan 3 is a pile of trash. I'm gonna give that a 4. GT40 race car is slightly better. I want to rank it higher. So if I give this one a 4, if I give this GT40 race car a 4, then I'm gonna give this one a 5. And then the best one, the blue one, comes later. I'm already thinking to give that a 7. The Falcon FPV GT35T. I did redeem this car, thinking that it would be useful. I think, you know, like, I thought it would be more useful than the VXR8, mainly because this is Learn the Savannah Way, this isn't. But I really haven't had much of an opportunity to use this one either, so I'm just going to give it as a 5. I feel like it might get about the same amount of use as these two. I feel like the non-prize cars are just the ones that I use the most. But maybe I just need to max the Falcon out and maybe we'll have more of a chance. The M3 GTS, I have 2 of these fully upgraded. Very useful for me when I started playing back in 2017. Nowadays, I kind of forget that it's there. 99 handling is great. Bit of a hybrid all-rounder though. 5. I think a lot of these epic prize cars, because we are in that mid-range, right? Mid-range epic, not low RQ epic, not high RQ epic. So if they kind of perform like an RQ 70 or a 71, they're just going to be average, you know? That's just how I think about things. The RS3 LMS TCR. Ooh, where do we put this one? This one's actually pretty good in very twisty scenarios. Think about your car parks and your slaloms. Do I give it an 8? No, but it's a very high 7, because there are some other front-wheel drive cars that I would rather give an 8. So I'm going to give this one a 7. Still a 7. It's really all front-wheel drive tire cars there. Cayenne Turbo, maxing out. You got a decent all-service tire car, 89 handling, 5.3. Yeah, I don't know what the max handling. I think it's like 4.4. It is like the German version of the Infinity, right? The FX Vitell edition. They're almost similar. I think the only thing separating these two cars is MRI. I'm gonna put them in the same rank. I'm gonna put them in 5. Moving on, the Countryman. I'm gonna put that in. I want to put that in 6, honestly, but no, I'm gonna put that in 5. I'm gonna put that in 5. I don't use it too much. Okay, Elise, the Motorsport Elise. Where to put this one? I recently fully upgraded it. It's great for 90s events. Very light, right? Handling is great. 101. Great. Honestly, it's a great servant for 90s events. I'm gonna give it a 7 because I have it fully upgraded. I don't use it as much as I would like to, but it's still pretty damn good. Hyundai Elantra N TCR. All right, that's gonna be an 8. This and like the Sea Elise, I'm gonna put them in 8. The Ford Police Interceptor Sedan. When I was gathering photos for this video, and I took a screenshot of the police, I was thinking to myself, was this car genuinely released yet? I don't know if it was released yet, but it is. And you just don't use it that often because there are 4-wheel drive center tire cars with medium ground clearance like this one that handles better, right? They get 86, 85, or even 87 handling. This is 84 when you fully upgrade it. And most, it's just okay, maybe even slightly under average. I'm gonna give it 5. That's it. All right, here we go. This one's good. This one's very good. The GT40 race car. When I need a pre-70s dragster to rely on, this was like one of the most useful cars for me for the longest time. Because this car came out before the Audi Auto Union, but obviously the Audi Auto Union is just it's a next level thing. This thing, the GT40 is still great though, right? Drag spec, it's got a high top speed, MRA is fantastic. It's a good car. But is it like 8, 9, 10 good? That's the question. I don't think so, but I think it's 7 good. It's 7 good. All right, here's the CLE. CLE is going to be an 8, and the other one 2, which is probably coming soon, that's going to be an 8. The Renault 21 Super Production is a very, very cool car, which I've just never had the privilege of using too often. Honestly, 95 handling fully upgraded. I haven't used it much. I know it has a saloon tag, which is pretty useful, but the reality is I own it and I've never needed to use it once. There was never an event where I needed it for, so I'm gonna give it a 5. It's really yet to, 5 is kind of like a place where I think you're decent or like you have yet to prove yourself. But I know that you're not terrible at the same time, right? Because you don't have, a hideous niche like, I don't know, rear-wheel drive standard or all-surface tires and things like that. Well, actually, the FX has all-surface tires, so is the Cayenne Turbo, but they've kind of proven themselves just a little bit. The Infinity through word of mouth, right? It's by people told me the Infinity is pretty good. I've never seen that thing actually do anything. But the Cayenne Turbo, I've seen some good. I've seen people actually use it. People out there that have it fully upgraded, that put the time and effort into it. And I can see it actually being relatively useful in specific events. Here's the other CLEs. I'm going to give that an 8. And then we've got M1 Pro Car, another one where I love it, right? It's like 100 MRA, 100 handling, and it's like a passion project. JJ can agree with me on this. It's a passion project. I like it. We love the car. We want to use it. We want to see it do well, but it hasn't really done much, unfortunately. There hasn't been a lot of events where this was like the highlight car, which breaks my heart because I think it's cool. I really want to max it out, but it's not, at best I can give it as a 6 because it's a higher performing Epic. We are reaching that 74, 75 plus now. But it hasn't really stood out to me. A Subaru Impreza WRX STI, before the Lancer Evos came back down to Epic, because they used to be Epic when they went up to Legendary, right? So that stint where many of those like Legendary, those Epic Evos went up to Legendary, the Subaru Impreza was a great substitute. Like this was like my first choice car. So, back then I would have given it like an 8. But unfortunately, those same Evos that went up to Legend has gone down back to Epic. Right, the Evo 9, I believe it is. So because of that, this isn't first choice anymore. So I'm gonna bump it down from an 8, but I still think it's a pretty decent car. I'm gonna put it in the group of 7. Next up is the Skyline GTR El Nismo. Much like the M1 Pro car, I feel like this is a car where I really want to see it succeed, but it hasn't proven itself for me. Right, I've owned this car for 4 years at this point, or at least it feels like 4 years. I don't have it fully upgraded. I've never really needed it for much, right? So that's the issue that I'm fighting with. How high can I put this for a car that is basically unproven for me? I'm gonna have to put it in the same place with the M1 Pro car. I think that this can be a good car, especially if you put in the effort. but I just haven't used it myself. Again, this is why we're making a public tier list. You guys can rank it however way you feel as well. This is my personal opinion, right? CX-50 is a huge disappointment. This one I have experience with, and I'm gonna put it as 3 might be harsh, but it's under average is 4. I had a lot of expectations for this car. I was very excited for this car, especially when most 4-wheel drive off-roaders were upgraded to legendary, right? Like the Borrego, for example, when the Borrego went up, right? I was hoping that the CX-50 would have made a difference for me, and I used my epic tokens during the car correction change. This is one of the first epics that I actually fully upgraded with epic tokens, and since then, I've only used it, I think, in one event. And it didn't stand out. It's very disappointing. The Lamborghini Diablo GT is up next. Look, guys, let's not get it twisted here. This is another prize car, right? That has been around for many, many, many years. That hasn't really gotten a chance to shine for anything. I'm gonna give it a 5. Moving on is the Colorado. Okay, so the Colorado was one that I actually use a lot. You know, like, unfortunately, the turbo, for some reason, I don't get to use in many scenarios. But the Chevy Colorado I actually use a lot because it is like the best American 4-wheel drive off-road tire car. It's very useful for me. Look, I know, I get it, you know, especially if you do not own either of these cars. Honestly, if you don't own either of these cars, I don't think you should be judging me in any way. But I know it looks weird that these two cars are very similar. 7175 and this is 7075. On paper, this car is better, right? So why is one ranked 8 and one is ranked 4? I'm gonna keep it completely honest. I'm gonna keep it completely honest with you guys, okay? It's just personal experiences. So many times I have been called upon to use the Colorado ZR2. I remember vividly using the car, but I have this thing fully upgraded, the CX-50. I just never used it for anything. Never, honestly. So I'm gonna have to put that down. Rebel TRX is okay. I'm gonna give it like a 6. It was more useful back in the day, but there are the Rams that you can collect now. The Mitsubishi Pajero Evolution, another car that just hasn't been very useful for me. I'm gonna give it a 5. And then we've got the Holden HSV. This is a great car. I'm actually gonna give it an 8. This is like your top dog Australian boy, especially like if you don't count the Brabhams. I mean, for the longest time, we didn't have Brabhams in the game, so that was your top dog Australian boy. And if you need medium ground clearance, that is your top dog Australian boy still. It has medium ground clearance. Ford Indigo is up, and it beats all the other, you know, Holdens. The Ford Indigo is up next. Again, it's a car that really hasn't proven itself much to me, but I know it's good. I'm gonna give it a 7 because I know that there are people out there that actually have it, you know, fully upgraded. The BMW M5 Yare Edition. Yare, I think that's how you say it. That's an 8. Great. It's a German Hellcat. It's a BMW Hellcat. Aerial Nomad is up next. I have to give that a 10. You know, at this point, what even constitutes as a 9? You know? But the Aero Nomad is fantastic. As long as you put it in the right places, and I hope you went 233 on this thing, because that's the way to go. Even though it's off-road tires, the 233 is the way to go. That's a 10, man. That's a very strong 10. It's a great car. Ram 1500 TRX is up next. So this one's slightly better than the other Ram. So I'm going to give that a 7. There you go. A lot of 7s in the house. A lot of 7s, a lot of 5s. All right, Porsche Cayman GT4. Look, if I'm putting the X-Siege in 10, I'm putting the Cayman in 10. Simple as that. Like, these two cars are just fantastic in their own way. Porsche 911 GT3 RS 4.0. This is a car that I've never won. A car that I've always wanted to win. When you have it fully upgraded, the stats is like 3.1101, right? It's a very good rear-wheel drive performance tire car that used to be a legend and went down to an epic. But it's one where it's a bit of a unicorn price car. You don't see it much. You really don't. It's not been given again, I think. It was only given out once, many years ago. It would be such a flex. Love that thing, I really do. But I don't have any experience. I know the on-paper stats are nice. It's like 31101 when you max at 233. But at best, honestly, I gotta give it a 7. I gotta give it a 7. Moving on, let's see if we can update the Lincoln MKZ Black Label. That's up next. That's a 5. That's 85. Howling for an RQ77. You can do better than that. Jaguar XJ220. That's a 6. Very easy 6. I want this car to succeed. Never really use it for much. MRA is decent. 90 MRA. Top speed is high. But there always just seems to be a better option. Because whenever, even if there's a Jaguar event, you got the CX75, so they're going to be better, right? So that's the other problem. So I really want to see this XJ220 like fly. Just haven't had the opportunity. Hummer EV. I'm gonna give that like a 7. I've seen people. I think that's the Hummer that they give out, right? I know there are 2 Hummer prize cars. One was given out, the other one wasn't. So that should be one of them. I've seen people use it. I've seen people max it. I didn't want to. I've not touched it. I have the Rams. But I can see that there is some use to it. Cadillac CTSV. This is the first 9 of the day, in my opinion. Medium ground clearance, and I think it's just shy of Blossom Choice. It is a wonderful car. Now, let's change the narrative. Would I put it in a 10 if I owned it? Maybe. Because if I own it, then I have more of a personal experience with the car, and I have a better insight to how well it performs. What I can judge from the CTSV is from what other people are saying and what I see from other events and how it performs in other people's hands in those events. It's a very, very good car. No, it's a very, very good car. I might put it in a 10 if I owned it and had my own personal experiences, but I'm going to put it as a 9 just because I don't have as much experience with the CTS as I do with the other 4 cars in 10. Before BMS R2 is up next. This one, again, it's falling under the category with the M1 and the GTR. I want to use it. I want to max it. I think it will be great, but it's not proven itself to me. So I'm going to have to give it a 6. Now, moving on is going to be the BMW M4 GTS. This one's pretty decent, actually. Got a lot of use earlier on in the game, you know, in like 2018, 19, around the time it came out. 2019, I believe. I'm gonna give it a 7. 2019, I would have given it like an 8 or maybe even a 9, but nowadays it's a 7. Alpha 155. We're starting to see this car get a decent amount of use, actually, because it's gone down from a legend. It's a lot easier to fully upgrade now, and there are some Italian, you know, classic Italian events out there where if you need to use a high range epic, this is your guy. So I think that this Alpha 155, in its short lifespan of being an epic, has proven itself more than the BMW, the Nissan, and the before BMS. We're never getting a Malaysian event, let's be honest here. But yeah, I think I've seen this car being used in multiple scenarios. I've even thought to myself, like this week even, like maybe I should max this car. Maybe this should be my next passion project. You know, I'm seeing it's a very cool car. It's a saloon and it's getting a lot of use here and there. I'm going to give it a solid 8. I think it might even go higher. Yellowbird's up next. Yellowbird's a 9 in my opinion. Some people might think it's a 10. I'm going to go with a 9. And the only issue of why I'm putting a 9 is because it is so common. Everybody has it, right? This is a prize card that anybody can redeem at any time as long as you finish those levels. So the demand is very low, I guess, and the supply is very, very high. Everyone's going to go 332 on it. So even if you have this very good prize card, chances are, if you can use it in an event, someone else is using it as well. It's just draw city, draw city, draw city, draw city. But it is preventing you from a loss, right? It feels like in many scenarios, a Yellowbird is needed, right, to save you a draw. So you don't lose. You don't lose 50 points. Good car, just bar off 10, just because, you know, it's everywhere now. Ram 1500 TRX Gold Shot. I know some people that have it fully upgraded. I don't have it fully upgraded yet. I'm gonna put it with the 1500 TRX, so I'm gonna put that in 7. I don't have much experience with that car, to be honest. This Pajero Evolution, I'm also gonna put with the other Pajero Evolution, which I put in 5, so I'm gonna put that in 5 as well. We are wrapping it up now in the 78s and 79s. Black Vermilion, I don't get a lot of use out of this. I don't want to put it with the other all-surface tire cars because it's not really proven itself to me. So the Cayenne and the Vettel, yeah, I'll put in 5, sure. Next up, we've got the Skigera. Skigera has been useful in one event since it came down from a legendary. And I even one-started because I had it stocked for like 3 years, and I one-started because it's an epic and it's cheaper, and it was going to make a difference for me then. But it's not at the level of the Alpha yet, so I'm going to put it as like a 7. Next up, Cobra. I love this car, dude. I do. I really do. But the only issue is it's not proving itself again, and I'm going to put it as a 6. Next up is the XC. Ooh. See, just like this 850 touring car, because it's an estate, it has such a unique niche where it actually is called on upon a lot more than you think it will be, and it's actually a very good four-wheel drive off-roader in the game as well, because it is relatively lightweight compared to its competition. I'm gonna give it a 9. Some people might find that controversial. I'm gonna give it a 9. I think it's a very good price card. 211 is a very OG price card. Never had the chance of winning this one. It looks phenomenal though. I'm gonna give that a 9 as well. F-150 Raptor R. Oh, that's fun. This is great. I'm gonna put that at a 9. This is the premier American off-roader alongside the Bronco, right? The Bronco better than the Cobra, so I'm gonna give that a 9 too. One of the best. Yeah, one of the best. Definitely one of the best American off-roaders, because no one's gonna max the Borrego anymore. Let's be honest. Charger. Oh. jailbreak. Where do we put the jailbreak? Every part, every fiber of my being wants to put the jailbreak in 10. But the reality is the super stock will beat the jailbreak on a quarter-mile ocean drag hill climb in half. I'm gonna give it a 9. It's a wonderful prize card, but it's not a 10. And then we got the Hellcat Red Eye wide body, right? The Challenger. I'm gonna give that an 8 actually. Charger is better. Then we've got the Corvette GS2. So I was talking about how this GT40 was so useful for me for the longest time, but then I won the Corvette GS2, and that's just better. It's just a better car. It's a better dragster. It knows what it wants to be. This 4285, this handles less. Who cares, right? It's got a lower 0 to 60, better MRA, but a lower top speed. But it is a better car in my opinion, and I'm going to give it a solid 8. One of those epic prize cards that I use with tokens as well. I think there are only 2 more after this. The Camaro ZL11 LE is fantastic. I'm gonna give that a 9. And we've got the R8 rear-wheel drive at the beginning of World Expo. Amazing car. I still think that's very, very good. I'm gonna give it a 9 as well. And that should be the last one. There you go. So anyway, guys, that is indeed my personal opinion of every epic prize card that has been rewarded up to August 2025. Let me know down in the comments below how you feel about it. I tried to be fair. Okay, I didn't put any of my favorite American boys at number 10. I genuinely think that these are some of the best epic prize cards that you can get right now. But these are some very good ones too. But anyway, guys, you let me know down in the comments below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? As always, if you want to join the vote, I will have the link down in the description below. I hope you guys have a great day and stay safe. Wash your hands and bless them out. Peace.
Bro, this song just makes me so happy.
Me too.
Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket, looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly. Got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies.
They so fine.
Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket, looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly. Got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies.
They so fine.
Sit back, relax in my Bonneville Pontiac. Hold tight all night, cruise to Jacksonville
Atlantic.
Blonde hair, don't